Hello and good evening, everyone. I hope my voice is audible. Please let me know if my voice is audible. Good evening to everyone. Today we are going to discuss about few more topics from Revit. Yesterday we discussed tools related to walls. We discussed about modification tools. Along with that, we also discussed about how to create roofs, how to modify them, how to alter their dimensions, how to change their shapes. We also learned how to place the floors, and along with that, we discussed the main part, which is about modification, and the last part of the class was related to components. So these are the things we discussed in yesterday's class. Today, we are going to continue from the same place. We are going to understand how we can create our own components, and the same components can be used to create walls which are of your own type and material. Let us start the software. We are going to open the same model that we had completed till yesterday's class. We're going to open that. So in yesterday's class, we also placed the roof. We're going to place the roof again so that it is going to remind us how we placed it in yesterday's class. With the help of rectangle tool and switching off the define slopes option, I'm going to place the roof on the top of my building, and this roof is going to be 6 inches thickness. So since I do not have a 6 inches thickness of roof, I'm going to create my own roof. How do you do that? I'm going to select the roof which needs to be changed, and I'm going to click on edit type, and after that I'm going to duplicate the same roof. I'm going to change the thickness of the roof to 6 inches. First I change the name, and later on I'm also going to change actual thickness of the roof. Now once the roof thickness has been changed, I can use the same roof as floor at the bottom. And this is how you can create a roof and a floor. I'm going to save this file. In today's class, the main topic is about components. In yesterday's class, we learned about how to place a component, how to load it from the Revit's family, and in today's class, we're going to understand it how to create our own models with the help of model in place. I'm going to click on model in place. Now you'll have many number of filters, but all these filters are just for understanding and just for naming purpose. If you select any of these, the function of the component would be the same. Only the name is going to change. So I'm going to use any of these. Let's say a casework. Caseworks represent just a generic material, a generic model. So I'm going to click OK. You can see that the user interface of the Revit's user interface has been changed completely. Now you cannot find walls, windows, doors, and windows. You can't find any of those tools. Now the tools have been changed completely. So let us understand all these tools one by one. The first tool is called as extrusion. Now what is an extrusion? Let's say you create some shape onto the roof. Now let's say I've created some shape. Now you can see a 3D model of the same shape has been created. This is not a wall, this is not a window, this is none of the tools which is available in user interface, but this is a new one which you created for your own self. Now you can extrude that element to whichever height you want. You can extrude the element in any direction you want. You can extrude it in right direction. You can extrude it downwards. You can also cover the whole building with this extrusion. So this is called as model in place, and this is done with the help of component. Now this particular element is called a component. You can create any component with any shape and any kind of material you can add to that particular component. I hope you're understanding. I'm going to delete the component. Now I'm going to create it again, and I'm going to show you how exactly we create those components. First, click on extrusion. Next, click on set. Please remember these steps. And after you click on set, you need to pick the plane on which you need the extrusion to be created. I'm going to click on pick a plane and OK. Now the first thing I need to do before creating the model is to set the plane in which I need to draw the particular shape. I can draw it on the top of the roof. I haven't even clicked the plane, but you can see the plane is showing us as soon as I go near the plane. Now wall is a plane. The top of the roof is a plane. I hope you can see the blue lines across the roof. Similarly, the face of the column is a plane. All the faces of the column are planes. You can select any plane. Plane represents the place on which you have a place to draw any shape you want. That place is a plane. It can be any particular face of any item or any element. So, for example, if I want some element or some component to be drawn on the top of the roof, I'm going to take my cursor to the roof, go near any of the edges of the roof, and you can see four blue lines which represent the plane. Now, if I click on that particular line or the plane, now my plane has been selected. But how exactly are we going to know which is my plane? You can click on this option called as show work plane. when I click on show work plane, it shows me where I can draw my component. So I hope you can see a grid system on the top of the roof. This grid system represents a plane on which you can draw anything you want. Now, once you know which is your plane, you can switch off the show button. Now, with the help of these shapes, you can draw any shape you want. And once the shape is completed, you can click on finish. Now you can see an L-shaped component. Now if I click on this component, you can see arrows on each face of the component. If I drag this arrow towards my side, towards the right side, you can see that the component is being stretched in one of the directions. Now if I select this component again, I can see another arrow. With the help of this arrow, if I stretch it to the leftwards, now you can see the shape. Now if I select this particular shape and the top arrow, if I extrude it, you can see the component being stretched to another direction. Now you can stretch the component in any direction you want with the help of these arrows. Now, if you want to edit it completely, what you need to do is select this component and you have an option called as edit extrusion. Click on edit extrusion. Now you can see the editing mode of the same component. Now I can even alter the complete shape of the component. With the help of the button at the end of each line, I can extrude it to any direction. Yesterday's class, we learned about trim option. I'll click on the trim option. With the help of trim option, I'm going to trim the excess lines. Now you can see the shape of the component. You can also see two arrows which are in upward and downward direction. With the help of these arrows, you can increase the thickness of the component or you can decrease the thickness of the component. I hope it's clear. If I select this component and click on edit extrusion, I can add a few more shapes inside the component. Click on finish. Now if I do that, any shape which is created inside or enclosed within another shape, that shape is going to create a hollow space. You can see a hollow space. So these are the components which can be used for designing purpose, and most of our architectural designing part is done with the help of these components. I hope you're clear. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section. So let's delete this element. I'm going to show you how to create it again. First, click on extrusion. The second step is to click on set. After that, pick a plane. After that, click on OK. If you want to change the plane, you can also change the plane. Always go near any of the ends of the lines. The wall. Let's say this is the wall in which I need my designing to be done. I can click on this wall. Once the wall has been clicked, I'll check if the plane has been selected. Now you can see the plane is the wall itself. Now once I know that the plane has been selected, I'll switch off the show button. Now I can draw anything on my wall. For example, I have drawn a box, and with the help of offset tool, I'm going to put some 6 inches of offset, and I'm going to draw another rectangle just outside of the box which I created earlier. Once this is done, I click on finish. When I click on finish, you can see a box has been created around the window. Now the same box can be extruded in any direction I want. Now I can also extrude the box in the horizontal direction or towards my right. Now this is a design which can be used for creating the elevation of a building. So this is a complex wall that we need to discuss in today's class, which can be created with the help of components. In today's class, we can also understand how to create these complex walls with the help of walls itself. Now I can extrude it in any direction I want. And let's say I'll select this. Once I click on finish, I come back to the original user interface. Now, if I want to go inside the editing mode again, I need to click on the component, and after that, I need to click on edit in place. I click on that. After that, I'm going to click on extrusion. Since my plane was already selected previously, I can use the same plane to draw another design on top of the wall. So let's check if the same plane is already selected. I'll click on show. Now you can see the plane is already selected because I selected it earlier itself. I'll uncheck this show button. Now, let's say I'll draw some design across the entrance of my building. This is a frame which I just drew for the entrance. Now with the help of extrusion, I'll select the extrusion command again. Now this time, if I want to change my plane, I just need to click on set again. I'll click on pick a plane. I'll click OK. And this time I'm going to select the roof. And once I select the roof, I am going to create a rectangle in front of me. This rectangle would be 6 inches of thickness. And I'm going to click on OK. Now you can see a parapet wall in front of you. With the help of the arrow tools, I can extend the depth of the parapet wall, and with the help of depth command on the top in the ribbon part, I can also set the depth to 3 feet. Now this is 3 feet of thickness. Now let's say I want to create another shape. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select on extrusion again. I'm going to change my plane this time. I'll click on set. I'll click on pick a plane. I'll click on OK. This time I'm going to select any of the plane which is going to help me draw something on the wall. Let's say I'm going to select the front of the roof. Now I'm going to create a shape around my building. This shape is going to be 6 or 9 inches of thickness. And you can see there is an intersection in these areas. So these intersections need to be removed. How do we do it? With the help of trim command that we learned yesterday. I click on trim. I'm going to trim the 2 lines. Similarly, I'm going to trim the 2 lines on the exterior part. And after that, I'm going to click on finish. You can see there is a design created on the front portion of the building. Now let's say I want a parapet wall around the roof on the top of my building. For that I can also go to the level 2, and on top of level 2, first I'm going to finish my component. I'll go to architecture. If you want to go back to the architecture part, you always need to finish the component and then work on the other tools. If you work on the tools without completing the component, you cannot work, you cannot use the tools. Now I'm going to show you, for example, when I click on the component, you can see the whole component is one single unit. If I press on delete, the whole component would be deleted. Now, if you want to edit the component, the only way to edit the component is to go inside edit in place. This will take you inside the modeling mode where you can only model or create your own components, and you cannot create any wall, doors, windows, or any of the tools which are available in Revit. You can only work in extrusion. So when I click on edit in place, you can see all the tools have been changed. Now this is editing mode of the component where you can only work on component. It's like having 2 separate doors inside the Revit software. One door allows you to go inside the Revit software and work with walls, doors, windows, and such type of elements and families. Component is another door inside of Revit where you'll enter another mode and you can create your own and your generic materials and components of your own design. And this is going to be editing mode where you cannot use walls or windows or doors. All the tools will be gone and you'll be inside another mode of Revit. And if you want to go back, you need to click on finish model or cancel model. Let's say finish model, I come back to the Revit's original user interface. I hope we are clear. I hope we are clear. Now, let's say I want a parapet wall around my roof. I'll click on wall. Let's say I'll click on some wall, let's say 5 inches wall. And I'm going to draw a wall around my roof. But this time, this wall is not going to be 10 feet high or will not be connected to level 2. Instead, this wall is just going to be 3 feet high. How can we set that? I've shown you in the first class. The base should be at level 2, but level 2 is actually below the roof. I'll show you. Now you can see the level 2 is just below the roof, 6 inches below the roof. If you want to draw something on top of the roof, you need to go to level 2. You need to start off with a wall, and this wall should be 6 inches above the level 2. And let's go to the next properties, the top constraint. It is going to be unconnected, which represents you're going to draw a wall which is not going to be connected to any of the levels. Now, what would be the height of the wall? It will be 3 feet. Once these settings are set, I'm going to start drawing my wall. Please concentrate on this particular detail because it's very necessary. Now you can see I have drawn a parapet wall on the top of my roof. Now let's just check once if the walls are properly in position. I'll go to 3D view. Now you can see the parapet wall of the building. Students, if you have any questions, please do ask me in the comment section. This is the method in which we can draw complex walls, different kinds of walls. So now we are also going to understand a few more tools inside the modeling mode. So for that, I'm going to click on this component and click on edit in place. Once I click on edit in place, I have a few more tools available for me. So in today's class, we're going to understand just one tool, just the two tools. One is extrusion, the other one is sweep. Let's understand these two tools. The other three tools will be understood in the next class or maybe at the end of today's class. I'm going to click on sweep, and this tool allows us to specify a direction along which any shape can be drawn. Now, when I click on sweep, you can see there is an option called as pick path. I can pick the path in which my shape should follow. Let's say I'm going to click on pick path. After I click on pick path, I need to specify the direction. Let's say this is a wall, and I need to specify the corner of a wall. Now, if I go to the front view of the 3D view of the building, you can see a drawing setup in front of you where there is a square, and in the middle of the square, you have a dotted line. Now you can draw anything on that dotted line. Now let us click on finish and let us click on edit profile. So these are the steps you need to remember to draw something with the help of sweep. I click on edit profile. Now I'll zoom in. I'll draw a few lines. I'm drawing these lines randomly. Now I'm going to click on finish. This will finish my profile drawing. Now, if you want to finish the model itself, click on finish edit mode. Now let us check once. Now you can see there is a profile drawn on the top of the parapet wall. This was drawn with the help of sweep command. I hope you're understanding. If you have any questions, please do ask me. Yes, anybody? I'm going to delete this component. I'll click on create, and in create, I'll click on sweep. In sweep, I'll click on pick path. After that, I'm going to pick my path. This is the first line of the path. The next line would be the back of the building. The next would be the side of the building. Now let's check once if all the lines are joined. If the lines are not joined, you cannot create a sweep. Now there is a gap between the two lines. How can we fill that? With the help of trim command. I'll click on trim, click on the first line, click on the second line. Similarly, click on the first line, click on the second line. And once all the lines are completely in a single loop, I'm going to click on finish. Once I click on finish, I need to draw a profile drawing in order to create the sweep. I'll click on edit profile. Please note down these steps and please try to remember this and keep on referring this because this is the most difficult part of Revit software or a complex part of Revit software. It's not difficult. If you keep on practicing on it, you'll definitely learn about it. Now I'm going to draw a profile of any shape you want. You can also use arcs. So let's say this is a shape I have created. And if you click on finish and click on finish again, you can see a profile has been drawn around the building. This is how we can create sweeps. I hope you are clear with this. This is the method to create components and complex walls. So we have a few more tools with the help of which we can draw different components. The second one is blend, which I'm going to explain briefly, and I'm going to explain all these tools again in the next class as well. The second one is called blend. I'll click on blend. In this tool, we can draw two shapes, and both the shapes are going to blend with each other. Let's try to draw the blend tool. Let's say I have drawn a rectangle, but you can see the rectangle is being drawn on the face of the wall. That is the plane. Let us change that plane. I'll click on set, pick a plane. Okay. Now I have selected the roof as my plane. Once it is selected, let's draw a rectangle. Once I have drawn a rectangle, I'll click on edit top, which means I am drawing another profile on the top. I'll click on edit top. I'll draw one more rectangle on the top. Once I have created two rectangles of two different sizes, I'll click on finish. Now this is going to create a component in which there are two shapes. The bottom shape is different and the top shape is different, and both shapes have been blended together. This is called as blend tool. You can blend it in any direction, in any shape. You can blend rectangle and circle. You can blend square and rectangle. You can blend triangle and rectangle. You can blend any shape you want. The only way is to create two profiles. Those two profiles are going to blend with each other. Now let's create another blend. I click on blend. Let's say you have created a circle. Click on edit top. Now you can create one more circle of a higher radius. Click on finish and extrude it on the top direction. You can see a blend. Two shapes have been blended into one component, and you can increase the height of the component. You can also type in the height of the component. So this is called as blend tool. Now I'm going to create another blend. One is rectangle. The other one is circle. How to create it? Click on edit top. Create a circle. Click on finish. Now you can see that the rectangle and circle are blended together. as one shape. You can also change the depth of the component with the help of depth option, which is given in the ribbon. And you can also alter the shape or depth with the help of the arrows given in the component. So this is the blend tool. The next tool is called a revolve, in which you can create something which revolves around the axis. So for that, click on revolve. The second step is to click on axis line. You need to set the axis. Click on axis line, and since my plane is the top of the roof, you can only create a model on the top of the roof itself. So let us change the plane. This time I'm going to select the side of the wall. This is the wall which I need the model to be drawn on, or this would be the plane that I want. I'll select this plane. I'll click on axis line. I'll go to the right. And when I click on axis line, I can draw an axis on this particular plane. After I draw the axis, please remember these steps. Click on finish. Click on the boundary line. After you click on the boundary line, you can draw any shape you want. Just on one side of the axis. You either have to draw it on the left or on the right. Let's say I have drawn a shape just to the right of my axis. So this is just a random shape I've drawn. You can draw any shape you want. Once I've created my shape, I'll click on finish. When I click on finish, you can see I have created a model. This model is going to be drawn around that axis, and this is called as revolve. With the help of revolve, you can create any model you want. This is a wonderful tool which needs to be remembered. I hope we are clear. Now let's try to understand another model. I'll click on revolve. You can set any plane you want. For this instance, we have used the side of the wall. Draw an axis line. After you've drawn the axis line, click on boundary. After you click on boundary, draw anything you want of any shape. Let's say I'm drawing some pyramid and I'm going to click on finish. You can see I've drawn a cone. So this is the procedure to create ribbon. So another key point to remember, sometimes accidentally this button is going to be clicked. This represents show full ribbon. When you accidentally click that, all the tools disappear from the user interface and you can only see a few tools. But if you want all the tools to be visible all the time, you need to click on this symbol, which is represented with show full ribbon. Click on that, all the tools are going to return back. If you click it again, it is going to compress in another format. If you click it third time, there is another simpler format. If you click it for the fourth time, the complete tools disappear from the user interface. And if you want to return those tools back, you can click on that again. All the tools are going to return to the user interface. Now, the next thing we need to understand is swept blend. This is a combination of sweep and blend. Now, let's say I'll click this swept blend. I need to specify the path on which I need that. I'll click on that. And let's say this is the path I want my swept blend. So once the swept blend is complete, click on finish. And after that, you have two profile. One is profile 1, the other one is profile 2. You need to draw two shapes. This shape is going to blend into another shape, and it is also going to follow a particular path which you have given. Let's say I'll click on select profile 1. I'll click on edit profile. In edit profile, I'm going to draw some shape. Let's say some rectangle. I'll click on finish. Now one shape has been specified. Now let's say I need another shape on another part of the profile. I'll click on select profile 2. When I click on select profile 2, I need to click on edit profile. After that, I need to draw some other shape, which can be any shape. Let's say I've drawn a bigger rectangle. Now I'm going to click on finish once. Now you can see there are two shapes. One is at the back, the other one is at the front. Both the shapes have been drawn as profiles. Once these profiles are done, you need to click on finish edit mode. When I click on finish edit mode, you can see both the shapes are going to blend into each other in the specific path that you had given. I hope it's visible. And I also hope that students are still in the class, because we have discussed about so many important aspects in components, and I haven't received even a single doubt from the students. It's either the students are understanding each and every part really good, or maybe they are not in the class. I hope you are understanding all the details. Among all these tools, if you have any questions, please do ask me in the comment section. So I'm going to use this tool again. Click on create, click on swept blend, select the path in which you need the blend to take place. Let's select the back of the roof. This is the path. Click on finish. I'm going to select the profile one. The profile one is at the back. Now I'm going to click on edit profile. I'll create some shape. I'll click on profile 2. Now I'm going to click on edit profile. This can be some random shape. Okay. Once these two shapes are complete, I'll click on finish. Now you can see the two shapes are going to blend into one another in the specific path that you have given. It's not visible. Sometimes it might also happen because of viewers internet. I hope it is visible now. I have minimized the name tag. Now I hope the screen is completely visible. Now, if I select this component, you can see the whole component is selected at once, which indicates that the whole component is one unit itself. If you want to edit that, you need to click on edit in place and then edit the component. So let's go to create. We have a few more components which will be completely discussed in the tomorrow's class. But just to understand, void is the opposite to what we did till now. Till now, we created components of different shapes and sizes. With the help of void, we can delete a particular area wherever we want. For example, I'll show you one of the element of void. I'll click on void and click on set and click on pick a plane, then OK. You can only delete component but not walls, doors, or window. Let's say I'll set this as my plane, and in that, let's say I'll draw a few rectangles and click on finish. Now you can see two rectangular cuttings in the component. So this is called as void. The same tools you have in void: void extrusion, void blend, void revolve, void sweep, void swept blend. All these are the same type of tools that we use till now, but the 5 tools create components and void tool subtracts area from those components. Okay. Now I'm going to finish the component. Now you can see the model of the building. Now let's create staircases in our building, which is also a vital part of training class. For that, I'm going to go to the level 1, and in level 1, I'll go to architecture. We have discussed about wall, door, window, component, columns, roof, floor. Ceiling will be discussed later on. And in today's class, we are going to discuss also about staircase. How can we create staircases? So I'm going to click on stair. Once you click on stair, all the other tools are not going to work until unless you finish the staircase. I'll go to architecture. If I want to work on walls, I cannot. I'll go to 3D. If I want to work on the walls, I cannot. You can see all the elements have been closed and you cannot use it until unless you finish the staircase. Once you finish the staircase, there is a dialog which says the stair is empty. Do you want to quit edit mode and delete this instance? You can click on yes. Now you come back to the original user interface. Now if you click on staircase again, now you cannot work on any of the tools. It happens again. Now the procedure to create the staircase is go to modify or create stair. By default, we have option called as run, and in run we have by default a straight staircase. Now with the help of this straight staircase, I'm going to go to the level 1. I'll click on straight staircase I'll start the staircase from any point I want and drag my cursor to any direction I want. I can drag it to the right, I can drag it to the left, I can drag it in the vertical direction, or I can also drag it in the horizontal direction, in the vertical direction towards the south. Let's say I've created a staircase towards north direction. Now you can see I'll start the staircase again. I'll click on one point. You can see a few details shown at the bottom of the staircase, which reads 2 risers created, 16 remaining, 3 created, 15 remaining, 4 created, 14 remaining, and so on. Now let's say I have created 9 risers created, 9 remaining. This is the small text written at the bottom of the staircase. Now I'll go on creating my risers. You can create it at once just by going to the end of the staircase. Now it shows 80 risers created, 0 remaining. At this point, you cannot create more number of steps. 18 is the highest. But if you want to add more number of steps, you have a different procedure for that. So now I'll click on the other part of the staircase and click on finish. Once I click on finish, let us check once if my staircase is created. So you can see the staircase has been created. This is a straight staircase. Now what if you want an open well staircase or a dog-leg staircase, or let's say any kind of staircase you want? You can also create that. I'll go to level 1 again. I'll click on stair. I'll start creating my staircase in one direction. And after that, let's say from the point over here on the right top corner, I want my staircase to go to the right direction. But you can see the staircase is being created on either side of those point, of that particular point. But I don't want that. Now, if I want to change that, I'll go to the location line on the top, in which we have exterior support left and exterior run right and run left. You have 2 options over here. You can select any of these. I'll select run right. Now you can see the staircase is going towards the right direction, and it is created exactly at the point to the left side of that point. Now I have created an open well staircase or an L-shaped staircase. Once that is complete, I'll click on finish. Let's check it once. Now you can see there is an L-shaped staircase created. Now let's create some more staircases. I'll click on stair. I'll start off from any point I want. Next, I'm going to shift to the right, and then I'm going to shift to the right again. Now this is an open well staircase. Now I want to create a dog-legged staircase. I'll click on stair. I'll start from any point I want, and then just a few inches away from the actual stair, I'll create another flight. So always check if it is on run left or right. So if you want to run the staircase towards the right direction, keep it in run right. Or if you want it towards the left, click on left. I'll click on finish. Now you can see all the 4 types of staircases created. One goes straight, one is L-shaped, one is open well, and the last one is dog-legged staircase. You can also see railings attached to those staircases. I hope it's clear. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Now let's continue with a few more types of staircases. Now we learned how to draw a staircase, but to specify all the details such as riser, right, and the width of the staircase, the number of steps. Yes, you can also view the staircase from the front. Now this is my staircase. You can see the staircase from the front. This is the front view of the staircase in 3D view. But let's say I want to view the staircase in 2D view as well. I'll go to the elevations and I'll go to the south view. Now you can also view the staircases just from the front of your south direction. Close it. Now let us specify all the details of the staircase. Let's start with clicking the staircase again. I'll go to level 1. I'll click on stair. And when I click on stair, the top ribbon shows a few details. The first says run right or run left. Where do you want the staircase to run? If I click on run right, my staircase axis will be towards the right. If I click on run left, my staircase axis will be towards the left. If I click on run center, the staircase axis will be at the center of the staircase. So this is what it means. You can use any one of these. Once you're done with this, the next thing which is specified is offset. Do you need any offset from the axis? Let's say you want some 3 inches or 6 inches offset. You can always specify that. Or let's say I've started drawing the staircase. The next dog-legged flight should be 3 inches away from the actual position. Now you can see there is some distance between the 2 flights. So you can always specify that. We'll go to level 1 again. Now the third option is, what is the width of the staircase? Let's say the width of the staircase is 3 feet, you can also change it to 3 feet 6 inches. Okay. So these are the few details that need to be set. After that, we are going to go to the properties. Where should the staircase start? I mentioned that the staircase should start at level 1. That will be 0. Where should the staircase end? Please remember that the staircase always ends on top of the first floor. The staircase starts at ground floor, or let's say level 1, and should always end 6 inches above level 2, because you can see in the front elevation part of the building that level 2 is situated 6 inches below the roof. So we have 6 inches roof, and just below the roof we have level 2. So if you want your staircase to end exactly on the position that you want, you need to specify Revit software that I'm going to end my staircase 6 inches above level 2. So I have set my level 1 as starting part of the staircase, and then 6 inches above level 2, that is the next thing. You can see desired stair height, which is on the left hand side. It is going to fix itself. It's given, it is 10 feet 6 inches height. As soon as you set the height as 6 inches above level 2, it is automatically understand, and it is automatically calculate and fix your height as 10 feet 6 inches. Now the next thing you need to check is what is the number of steps. If you type 18, you can see the default riser height will be 7 inches. Now if you increase the number of steps, you can see the changes in the riser height. Now it's 19. If I increase it to 20, you can see 6 and 77 by 256 inches. Now if I increase it to 21, now you can see that it is 6 inches. So usually we keep the staircase in 18 numbers or 21 numbers. In 21, we get 6 inches of riser. In 18, we get 7 inches of riser. Both the riser height is permissible. 6 inches is 150 mm or 15 centimeters, and 7 inches is 175 mm or 17.5 centimeters. Both the riser height are permissible. You cannot increase the height of the riser from 7 inches. 7 inches is the highest. You cannot even decrease the staircase below 5 inches, because 5 inches is for commercial. If you keep it less than 5 inches, the number of steps increases very high. So usually we keep the riser height from 5 to 7 inches, which is 125 mm to 175 mm. So these are the details we need to set. Lastly, there is another option, actual tread depth. So it is 11 inches which is given. We can also set it to 10 inches, which would be sufficient for us. Usually for residential buildings, we have 10 inches of tread, which is approximately 250 mm. And for commercial buildings, we keep the tread width or tread depth 300 mm, which is 1 feet. So let us keep it as 10 inches itself. Once all the details are set, let's draw the staircase again. This staircase is according to the dimensions that we have set. Now let's click on finish. Check the staircase. Now this staircase is exactly according to what we have specified the software. Now if you want to change the number of steps in one flight, you can always change it. Click on edit stairs, go to the top, and here if you click on the arrow shown here, if you drag it to one direction, you're going to increase the number of steps in one flight. The other flight steps will be decreased automatically. Now, if you increase in another direction, you can see one of the flights have increased number of risers, the other has less number of risers. So you can always alter that anytime you want. You can reduce the number of risers on any side. Next, you can also shift the flight to one side. How do we do that? Click on the flight. You can see a symbol of move. Click the flight and drag it to another side, wherever you want. Now you can see the flight has been shifted a few feet from the actual position. Now you can also increase it in another direction. Now it looks like this. There is a flight, you have a walkthrough, you have another walkthrough, and you can have another flight at the end. I'll go back to the top. I'll extend the flight back to its original position. Now click on one of the flights. You have two arrows visible. If you increase the arrow, if you extend the arrow in one direction, the width of the flight of the staircase is also going to increase. You can see it is 4 feet. You can also type 3 feet 6 inches and click on enter. You'll see that one of the flights width has been increased. I click on another flight. This flight can also be increased to 3 feet 6 inches. What you need to do is click on that flight, click on the dimension which is shown to you, and in there type 6 and click on enter. Now you can see the width of the flight has been increased. Similarly, click on the landing. With the help of arrows, you can always increase the width of the landing to any width you want. But if you want to edit it, you should always be in the top view of the 3D view or in the level 1 of the floor plans. I hope it's clear. Once all these settings are set, you can click on finish and your staircase is going to be created. Let us try to place this staircase in this building. I'm going to change the width of the landing to 3 feet. And with the help of arrow in your keyboard, you can also shift the position of the other flight. So it looks like this position is ideal to place the staircase. Now you can see that the staircase has been placed. But we have one more problem, and the problem is the place where the staircase comes out, or the place where you come at the top of your terrace, you don't have a place for the staircase to come out of the roof. So, what can we do about that? I'm going to click on the roof. I'm going to click on Edit Footprint. And here, I'm going to cut off the roof. How can we do that? Just by drawing a shape inside the roof. How do we do it? First, we click on the roof, and then we click on Edit Footprint. We go to the top of the roof. From here, I'm going to draw a rectangle, and after that, I'm going to click on Finish. Would you like to attach the highlighted walls to the roof? Attach. Unjoin elements? Yes. So these are a few things you should remember. Now you can see that the place where the staircase is coming out has an opening inside. Now let's go to the level 1. Let us shift the wall a little backwards so that we get a landing on the top of the building. Now I'm going to move this staircase backwards up to 3 feet. Once that is done, I'm also going to shift my wall to one side, and after that I'm going to check if I get a proper landing on the top of the roof. Now you can see that the wall and the roof has been shifted backwards. I'll select the roof again, click on Edit Footprint, click on the end of the roof and drag it forward. Similarly, I'll select this roof and drag it forward again. And once this is done, I'll click on Finish. If you like to attach the walls to the roof, attach, click on Unjoin Elements. Now you can see there is quite some space in front of the staircase. This can be used as a landing for the staircase on the top portion of the roof. I hope you're clear. You can see the staircase. You can see the landing on the top. Now, this is the building that we have created in our class. We have also created the staircase as well. If you have any questions till now, please do ask me. Students, any questions? So if you have any other doubts regarding the software, you can always ask me in the comment section as well. And along with that, I'm also available in Instagram as Muhammad Taha, which is my name. If you have any doubts, any questions related to this, you can always ask me. So the next thing is, in staircase, we also have another option called as cast in place staircase. Okay, I'll click on, let's say, monolithic staircase. This staircase is also the same kind of staircase, but the only difference is it does not have different parts. It is created with the help of same unit. The whole staircase is just one unit itself. So this is called monolithic staircase, and you do not have any tread, riser, or any element to this, which is very rarely used. I'm going to delete this off. In staircase, we have a few more shapes of staircase. The second one is spiral staircase. I'll click on spiral staircase. I'll go to the level one. The spiral staircase is very easy to create. You just have to specify the radius of the staircase. Let's say 5 and click on enter. Your staircase will be created spirally. So this is the staircase which is created. You can create spiral staircases. Now let's create a few more. You can also create a staircase. It starts at one end and also ends at the same end. Now this is another type of staircase. It's just the same one, but the radius is smaller radius used. The next type of staircase is center end spiral. So in this type of staircase, you can end the staircase wherever you want. First, you need to specify the radius. Next, you need to create the risers. Let's say I want only three steps, and you can finish it off there itself. This is not the complete stairs. You can also end the staircase wherever you want. So this type of staircase is called center end spiral staircase. The third one. Now the fourth one is L-shaped staircase. You just have to place it wherever you want. The staircase will be created. Click on finish. Your staircase is ready to use. You have one more type of staircase called the U shape. Go to the level one. Just place it wherever you want. The staircase is going to be created. Now all these staircases have the same settings that I've shown for the previous staircase. That is the first one. The same settings are there for all the staircases. I hope you've understood this. I'm going to delete all these staircases. There is another procedure to create a staircase. It is called as staircase by sketch. You can draw your own staircase. How can we do that? I'll click on sketch. First, you need to specify the boundary of the staircase. Let's say I want some kind of staircase. It looks like an arc. I have one more arc on the other side. So let's say this is the boundary of my staircase. Once I have decided the boundary, I have to click on a riser. When I click on riser, I need to draw all the risers. Now this is my first riser. I'll select copy and create risers 10 inches from one another. So I have created another one. You should remember the boundary of the riser should be within the limits of the boundary. Now I'm going to copy the riser. Check if the multiple selection tool is selected. Yes, it is selected. Now keep on creating multiple number of risers. Let's just count all of these. We have created 8 risers. Let's say I want totally 18 risers. You can copy all the risers. Now I have 16 risers. I'll create another two. I'm going to extend the boundary. Now you can see all the lines are extended beyond the boundary line. To bring all those lines back, you have an option here which says trim extend multiple elements. I'll click on this. I'll click on the boundary and then I'll select all the lines together. Now you can see all the lines are trimmed up to the boundary. Similarly, I'll select this tool again. I'll click on boundary. I'll select all the lines. Now you can see all the lines have been trimmed. The next thing is sketch path. So this is the direction in which your staircase should start and end. So I'll click the third option, which is sketch path. I'll go to the bottom. I'll drag the line to the end. So this represents that my staircase starts from the bottom and ends at the top over here. Once all these details are filled, click on finish and click on finish again. Now let's check if my staircase is ready. So this is my staircase, which starts at this point and ends at this point. Now I'll click the staircase again, click on edit stairs, and I have another option called as flip. I can always flip the direction of the staircase. If I click on flip, you can see that the stair is starting from one point, that is on the front, and ending at the other end. So you can create your own staircase in any shape you want. In some of the projects that I have done, so now you can see a building in front of you. This building was also created with the help of Revit software. It consists of all the elements. Now you can see I have created walls. I have used different materials for each wall, and then I have created this shape with the help of extrusion, that is from the component. I have created the windows. So this is a project that I've just done a few days ago. I'll show you a few more projects which can be done with the help of Revit software. This is another project that I've done a few days ago. It's a restaurant's interior design. For this project, I have used extrusions, components, and I've done this with the help of these elements, and I've created this. The rendering part or the realistic image of the same model was done with the help of Lumion software, which is another software which can be attached to a Revit software and you can create these wonderful designs. I'll show you some more. So this is another model that I've created. Every model that I've created is done with the help of Revit software. Of course, we also use some of the other elements that are created in other softwares such as SketchUp. We also use other softwares, but mostly the work is done in Revit software itself. This is the interior of the same building, which we have done with the help of Revit. So if you start working on them, you can definitely create these wonderful designs. So the next thing that we are going to discuss is about the settings, a few more settings that we can set in staircases. I'll click on edit type. I'll select the first staircase. I'll click on edit type. There are a few settings that you can keep to create the staircase. The first one, what is the maximum riser height? It's given 7 inches, which is sufficient. Minimum thread depth, you can set it to 10 inches. What is the minimum run width? You can keep it 3 feet itself, which is the minimum width of the staircase. The next thing is calculation rules. You have calculation rules over here, which is not of any help for us because all these settings are already set. So please do not change those settings. And after that, in construction, you have the first run type which reads 2 inches thread, 1 inches nosing, and 1 by 4 inches riser. So this is the thing that you need to understand, that you can always change these settings. Click on this. Now in that, you can always set the material of the staircase. Now let's say I want the tread as some material. You can select any material you want. Let's say damp proofing. Similarly, riser material, you can always add material to your riser. Now you can see that I have added two materials. One is to the tread, the other one is to the riser. Click on apply, click on OK. And after that, you have to click on OK. Now, if I create a staircase this time, you can see that there are a few color changes made in the staircase. It has a combination of green and black, which I just applied right now. Another thing you need to understand is about railings. You can see two railings on the either side of the staircase. If you have any questions, you can ask me. So you can also set the railings to any shape and size. You also have a few different types of railings available. Now, if I select on the railings, you can see glass panel, you can see guard rail pipe, you can see handrail pipe, you can see handrail rectangular. These are a few different types of railings available for you. You can use any of these. Let's say I will select glass panel. Now, if I zoom in, I can see the railings and I can see the glass as well. This railings which is there on the left hand side, it looks more like a jail. Let's change it. The second one is guardrail pipe. Now this looks much better. You can always change the type of the railings. And after that, you can change the guardrail rectangular. You can set any type of staircase railings you want. For example, if you lose those railings, you can also delete the railings with the help of selecting the railing and deleting it. If you want to place the railings again, you have an option called as railings. Below that, you have an option which says place on stair or ramp. I'll click on that. If I click on the staircase, you can see my railings has been created again. Now you can change that to any type you want. You can also add railings to your building. This is the last part of today's class. I'm going to go to level 2, and let's say I want the railings around my building. I'll first draw it somewhere. How to draw the railings? Click on railings. You have different shapes available. Let's say I draw a line and I click on finish. So this is the railing. Now this looks like it's in the middle of somewhere. I'll select this railing. I'll set the base level to level 1. Now you can see the railing is on the ground floor. I'll delete it off. I'll delete the staircase as well. I'll select the railings. I'll set to level 1. I'll draw rectangular railing. I'll click on finish. Now you can see the railing. You can draw railings anywhere you want, wherever you want. I'll delete the railing. Select the railing again. I'll set my railing to level 2. And in level 2, I'll keep the railing 6 inches above the level 2. And after that, I'll go to the top view of the building. I'll draw railings around my staircase area and click on finish. Now you can see there is a railing around the staircase area. Let's say I want it on the front as well, till where I have the staircase starting. Now if I click on finish, you can see the railings around the staircase area. I click on those railings and I'm going to change that railing to guard rail or handrail pipe. So this is how you can create your own railings as well. This is how we can create railings, staircases, and other details. I hope we have covered all the topics of today's class. We've discussed about complex walls, how we can create walls, how we can create complex different shapes of walls with the help of components, with the help of walls as well. And after that, we discussed about staircases, how we can create different shapes of staircases in different directions. We can create our own generic staircase. And we also discussed about how we can create in components, how to create different shapes with the help of extrusion. And along with extrusion, we learned about blend tool, swept blend tool, sweep tool. We discussed about voids as well. So these are a few things that needed to be discussed in today's class. I hope you have understood all the topics. If you have any questions till now regarding any of the topics of today's class, you can ask me. I'm going to clarify your doubts. Any questions from anybody? So thank you everyone. Thank you for cooperating in the class. Thank you for interacting and having your questions and your doubts cleared. If you have any questions, you can ask me anytime. In tomorrow's class, please keep in mind that whatever we have discussed till now, we are going to repeat all the tools. We're going to use all of them to understand the next further part of the course. So please go back and watch all the videos, understand each of them. If you have any questions related to any of the videos till now, please let me know in tomorrow's class. Thank you. Have a nice day.